In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the current conditions and upcoming surge in severe weather, as well as the upcoming pattern. Let's just get straight into things, though. And first things first, we're taking a look at our current radar imagery. And as you can see, there's quite a bit going on, especially up here in the northwest and the north central United States. We have some activity up here. There's some sporadic activity down there in the south central United States and some stuff happening offshore the southeast and the Gulf states that's worth mentioning. Let's first off take a look up here at the northwest. We have some activity happening here with some showers from California up through Oregon, Washington, Idaho, Montana, and Wyoming as well. We can see that this extends all the way down into portions of Colorado, actually, as well as Utah earlier this morning. And then as we work our way up to the Dakotas, we see that this is more looking like thunderstorms than showers up in here. There is some pockets that look more like showers, but there's certainly some pockets that look a lot more like thunderstorms, and those are the areas we're particularly concerned about. As we work our way actually to the southern end here on Nebraska, Iowa as well, it's looking especially concerning up there. There was a tornado report that came out somewhere that I saw. I forget where it was though, but this front, especially here, as you can see, is where we see these really bad storms taking place. Definitely concerning stuff. Front line could have some winds as well. Wouldn't surprise me one bit. Now, let's go ahead and move up to the kind of Great Lakes region. We do see that there is some showers and thunderstorms out ahead of all of this. So we do see this happening for northern Minnesota, northern Wisconsin, the upper peninsula of Michigan, and then the northern regions of the lower peninsula of Michigan there. So that's taking place up there. We see some just like little mini pockets of showers. We see here for Texas, there's an area seeing some showers. Up here in Mississippi and Arkansas, we see some showers taking place there. Let's see. Is there anywhere else weird like that? Not really. And I mean, outside of that, we do have this typical southeast humid thunderstorms, kind of tropical in nature. Obviously, when I say that, I don't mean like a tropical storm, an actual tropical storm. What I mean is that it's kind of tropical climate at this time of year for these regions. And we do see these pop-up thunderstorms like you see in the tropics. So that's what we're dealing with down there. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to move on. And we're going to go ahead and break down the upcoming pattern. We're going to break down that upcoming severe weather as well, because there is actually a couple of days of more activity than what we've been seeing, I would say. Now let's take a look quickly at the upcoming pattern, and as you can see, by this afternoon here on July 4th, Monday, by the way, happy 4th of July, we can see that there is kind of just this storm stretching throughout all of these regions. We see just this storminess around for all of these areas. That is going to be an impact throughout the day today, but as we reach kind of later that evening, we can see it's less of a factor for the southeast and kind of more of a factor up here in the north central United States and the northwestern United States, as well as the four corner states under here as well, seeing some of that activity down there. So these are the areas where there might be impacts to those fireworks shows that you need to really be watching if you're planning on attending one of those. Now tomorrow on Tuesday, July 5th, we see some storminess mostly moving into the eastern United States there. That is the look at this point. And then we can see that there is these pockets that pop up for July 6th around in here. This is potential severe weather, by the way. We'll take a look at the Storm Prediction Center at the end, but they do have some risk in here for these dates, the 5th and the 6th. We can see that up and down the East Coast, actually, showers and thunderstorms will be a possibility. But it's mostly this pocket here that extends from the Dakotas and down through into the Carolinas there. That's the area we're watching mostly. Thursday here, let's see. Thursday, we can see that by the time we're reaching about the afternoon hours of Thursday, it's going to be July 7th. We see some storminess continuing on for these areas in here. This is when things just get really stormy, remember? And then for the Friday the 8th, we see just this activity continuing here for the eastern United States. It's going to be really rainy here. Saturday afternoon, we see this activity continuing here for the southeast. This is going to be crazy when we see the total precipitation. And then Sunday, July 10th, we finally see what looks like it's maybe coming to an end here. Yeah, because by the time we reach the 11th, we're finally seeing some quietness for the eastern United States outside of the very far deep southeast. And then for Tuesday afternoon, We do see a storm up here in Canada bringing some showers and thunderstorms around, but really quiet, okay? So for the 11th, the 12th, let's see if the 13th continues. Yeah, the 13th is a little quiet too. We see some activity for these areas, but not quite as much. So overall, it's going to get pretty active there for the east for multiple days in a row. But that activity is going to quiet down at a certain point. So keep that in mind as well. That for the 11th, 12th, and 13th, it really appears like a quieter pattern here for the United States. Now, as far as total precipitation here we are taking a look at that total precipitation. In the whites, we're expecting almost no precipitation. Your grays will be about 1/10 of an inch or less of precipitation. Your greens will be 1/10 of an inch to 1/2 an inch of precipitation. Your blues will be 1/2 an inch to an inch of precipitation. Your yellows will be 1 inch to 2 inches. And then your reds will be 2 to 5 inches of precipitation. As well as those browns, that'll be 5 to 10 inches of precipitation. We could tell that the southeast and the Ohio Valley, as well as kind of the upper Midwest, is the areas we're expecting to see the most of that precipitation. It's pretty obvious at this point where there's tons of reds and browns popping up. That is where we're expecting the most activity at this point. Now, what we're going to do, we're going to skip over that total snowfall because there's actually nothing at this point. What we're going to do is we're going to move on and take a look at the upcoming temperature pattern, the tropics, and then eventually the severe weather. Now, by this afternoon, this is the look. We have a bit of a trough in the west and then a ridge for the east and the central United States. It's going to be quite hot here on this 4th of July for a lot of the eastern and the central United States. Out west, though, we're going to see this cold billowing in. That seems to be the look here for Monday, July 4th. Now, as we can see for Tuesday, it's a lot of the same. We see this trough out here and then a bit of a ridge still for the central and eastern United States. We'll have to see where this ends up moving. We continue to see this cold really diving down there for the west, though. Here's Wednesday, July 6th. We still see a bit of a trough there, a bit of a ridge. That seems to be the trend here. Thursday, it's looking the same, except we see a bit of a trough here for the west coast. But it appears like we have a ridge starting way further west, which means this is going to start to weaken out. It can't be a huge ridge for everywhere, obviously. So we're going to have to wait and see what happens with this. It looks like we have a bit of a trough here in the west and then a bit of a trough in the central or the eastern United States with ridging in between a little bit there. Saturday afternoon, it definitely appears like this ridge might be headed west with a trough in the east. This seems to be the look. This heat wave out here is starting to get started for the Rockies, the plains there. Sunday, we see this continuing on. Still a ridge out west, trough in the east pattern. It's been a while since we've seen one of those. Monday, July 11th, we still see this trough kind of in the east. It's getting a little bit more neutral there. And then we see something interesting happening. We see a pattern that's looking a bit like this. So this is allowing some warm air to make its way east of this. We also see the warmth still heading to the west. And then there's mostly cold in between here. This usually means we're transitioning to something. So this won't stick like this for quite a while. We can see that by Wednesday, July 13th, we see this big ridge here, trough there, and the kind of the southeast ridge trying to hold on for dear life. And then we see this ridge still out west, very, very large ridge out west. Now, that's the end of the model run. So let's take a look at the 5-day graphical tropical weather outlook. And as you can see, we've gone from all that activity to no tropical cyclones expected over the next 5 days. Very quiet. So we're going to keep an eye on this. We had a big cluster of activity, and then boom, it seems like somebody turned off the light switch, and now we're just left in the dark here a little bit. I'm sure it's not going to be quite as long as we saw, for the month of June. I don't think we're going to have that big of a quiet period. I think we're going to get activity going fairly soon. It's just we have a 5-day period or maybe a little less or a little more without activity, which is going to be a nice breather for a little bit here. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to move on and we're going to take a look at the Storm Prediction Center. Now, here's the day one categorical outlook here from the Storm Prediction Center. We have that very large general thunderstorm-esque area in the lighter green. That's where we expect general thunderstorms, but anything is possible, so heed every watch, warning, and advisory. They're in the darker green up there for the upper Midwest, as well as the Great Lakes and portions of the Rockies. That's where we have a marginal risk at severe weather, and that's where we expect isolated severe weather to occur. Now, the 2 yellow slight risk regions is where we expect scattered severe weather to occur today. So keep that in mind in those 2 yellow regions as well. Now, that's for today. Monday, July 4th. Let's move on towards Tuesday, July 5th here, day 2, and we also have a very large general thunderstorm risk once more. We also have that large marginal risk area in the darker green again, but we also have a much larger yellow area in there where we have that slight risk at severe weather, and we expect a lot of scattered severe weather to take place tomorrow in that region for July 5th, so keep that in mind if you are in that yellow region. Now for day 3 here, we see everything kind of just pulls its way south. We see this general thunderstorm risk is very large once more. Again, still heat every watch warning and advisory. We see that the darker green region is also expanding quite a bit, so that's where we expect isolated severe weather to occur. And then we have 2 regions there with slight risk, and that's where we expect scattered severe weather for those 2 yellow regions, Montana, Wyoming, and South Dakota, as well as these areas here from Nebraska and Iowa, all the way through the Ohio Valley and down into the Carolinas. So that's where we have a slight risk at severe weather. Now, for today's confidence tab, I don't really know what we're looking forward towards at this point, but we're at a 4 out of 6 because there isn't really anything prominent that we're looking at, and even if there was, we're not really confident in it. So that's where we're at. For today's patron highlight of the day, I want to thank you all for supporting the channel, but especially our platinum patrons, Bill Crates, James Wade, Dovin Eagle, Larry LePan, Amanda Birchfield, Patrick Strickland, Dave Scott, and Donna Carnes as well. I would also thank our diamond patrons, Bill Roberts, Marcus Connolly, Noah Holland, Nicholas Catbite, Charles Stinnett, Bill Dallas, Garys, and John Khaleesi also. I'd also like to thank our channel members, Catbite, Stephen Fan, and Jeremy Cox as well. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Be sure to smash that like button, leave a comment down below, and subscribe for more weather-related content. I'll see you guys in the next video.